Hello, Southview. Welcome back to Sting. This is Sting number 12. My name is Miss Hasbar, if you don't know me. And this is our other wonderful teacher, Mr. Dahl. Mr. Dahl, you can wave, but you can't say anything right now because I'm going to talk to the kids. Well, guys, we are going to talk about email, and specifically with Gmail. Oh my, get excited. So I'm going to start a quick screen share here. And I want to show you guys some of the things that we talked about in middle school skills, which I know you guys love that class, so it's one of the best ones ever. Okay, so when you're in your email, and my box might look different than yours, we're going to show you guys how to make it look like this in just a second, but you're going to hit compose. Now, I'm a big fan of keeping your hands on the keyboard, so if you have your keyboard shortcuts turned on, if you hit the C button, then it just goes right to the message, because if you can keep your hands off of the mouse, you're going to be that much faster. So now I'm going to send an email to Mr. Dahl because he's a great guinea pig to try these on. And when you're sending an email to a teacher, you want to include a subject line, which should be 1 to 3 words. You keep it really short. It's what your topic of your email is going to be about. So maybe you need to do a retake on chapter 2. So you can be like, chapter 2 retake. So there's going to be 3 parts to your email. The first part is a greeting. You need to address teachers appropriately, just like other adults in your life. So you're going to type in Mr. Dahl and put a comma. Sometimes if you don't want to put a comma, that's also fine as well. Then you're going to have your body of your message. In your body, you want to use complete sentences, proper editing marks, the right grammar. Think about Mrs. Baradaran, Mrs. Claire, and Mrs. Olina. This is Olina telling you all those wonderful, amazing techniques of writing. This is where you need to apply them. So you would send your message. I would like to take the chapter to test again. You might want to include what you're going to need to do with that. Like, do you need to study? Do you need to meet with the teacher? Do you need to set up a meeting or a review session with them? And then the final part of your email is this third part, which is your signature. So right now, my signature, as you can see, I didn't have to do anything to that. So I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. If there's something they need to attach to my email to my teacher, either from my drive or an image or a link, I can do all those things down here. As this is your professional account, try to stay away from emocons, try to stay away from text messaging words, try to stay away from abbreviations. You want it to be a professional. This is your professional account. We are treating you as professional, so you need to be professional with your usage of your email. So if you go ahead and hit send, I'm going to show you guys how to get that signature. So your signature, you need to go over to settings, and if you click on settings, you're going to go into your settings. So click on the gear, go to settings, and from here, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down. Now this general settings, we talked a lot about a lot of different parts of this. Down a little bit further is your signature. So you want to have a word that you can use for all of your signatures. You don't want to have like peace out or sayonara, or you want to have a professional word such as respectfully, from, sincerely. You want one that you can show to any teacher. Then you're going to put in your name, and I always tell my students they can get a little creative with that. If you want to change the size of the font, if you want to change the bold, the color, and then also like what the font even looks like. You can change, you know, to different font styles. And then you can put in a little bit about yourself. So I have a teacher because that's what my job is. Your job is a student, so you might have Southview Middle School student or United Public Schools. And then we always talk about adding in a little extra something like a little quote or a saying. And you can come back in here and change this anytime. A lot of students also like to put in a little picture down there. So it's up to you what you're going to do. Some students will link it to their portfolios once we create those. So there's a lot of different things you can do with your signature. That's where you get a little bit more creativity. So Mr. Dahl, anything that I missed at all?
No, you did a marvelous job, and I can speak to, and we can both speak to, how we hear great things because we've practiced this already, and teachers love to get a good email. We're geeks. This is our business. All of us have a basic language arts to major in language arts, so we want to see a good email. Are you seeing my screen okay, Ms. Aspar?
I can. I just switched over to you, so you're good to go for now.
So just what happened while Ms. Aspar was talking is I had a little beep to let me know I got an email. I had a window pop up, and here is my inbox. And going in right away, here is the message that Ms. Aspar sent me, and I trimmed it.
Where's my signature?
No, and this is just it. And I set it to trim it so it stays in the message. And I click down, and there's the signature. This is something I want to be able to put in my tasks and my calendar. I use my Google Calendar all the time. And you go up to the More area, and you can mark all sorts of different areas. But what we're going to talk about today is you can add a star to make it important, and so that you can find these starred items. And add a star would put a star right over here, or you can just click on the star, as well as adding it to the tasks, and the tasks will then put it into my taskbar, and it shows down in the lower right that there is my Dean's List for my task, and it should show over here on my calendar of tasks also, and I'm looking at the wrong list. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So that is how the email looks on the when it adds to the tasks, and any inbox item can be tasked and given a date to do something with, like submitting the grades. Add it to tasks, brings it up here. Now I can go in and read the email, or I can mark it as completed. So it's just a nice little grocery list. Now, something that I think is really, really cool that kids have made good choices, this little area over here is a chat area. And I would say just about everybody has found it. And I had a student say, Mr. Dahl, is it okay to turn the chat off? And I said, yes. He goes, it's just too distracting when I'm taking notes. So the way to do that is to go into the settings, and there's a chat button, and literally you just chat off, save it, and now it will take away and it'll reset my Google Apps Gmail account, and now it just has my labels over there. So it's a nice way, and you have to kind of be honest with yourself of what you can handle and what you're able to take care of, because sometimes you know, your buddies, your friends might be distracting you and taking away from what you're supposed to do, and also teachers sometimes get frustrated with that. Then moving into the labs. Labs is a really, really cool area, and there are many, many just add-on labs, items, gadgets that you can add. One of them that I really like is enabling the Google Calendar gadget, and it will put appointments over there as they come up in their order. And then the other one I like is because I do like to have my labels on the left side, and I like to have chat on the right side, because we as teachers, there's times we're in meetings that we do have backroom chats that are largely constructive, and I like having a full menu on my left side of labels, because I have a lot of labels, and then I have my chat on the right. So I go back into settings and turn the chat back on, and it'll give me the option, chat on, save it, it will reset again. And now, and I'm a bit geeky on this, I like a nice balanced screen, and this balances it out for me on each side with my messages in between. And yeah, and Ms. Haspel, what are your favorite labs?
Oh man, okay, so thanks for coming back. I was gonna say that I really enjoy the chat on the other side as well, Mr. Dahl. Like mine, here's my chat over here, for sure, loving that. So what I like is this view where I have not only my labels, but then I have my emails come in, and then I have this plane here, and it says no conversation selected. But what this is if I click on an email, what it does, it gives me the reading plane so I can see what it's about, and I can even adjust how big that can be. Awesome reading plane, thanks, Mr. Dahl. But it's really awesome how I can change the size of it to make more or less reading either side of either the emails or the reading area. So I can preview that before I double click it to open up. So that's also in the labs. I believe it is called the preview pane. So that's a good one.
How do you have your icons on the chat area also?
That's underneath. Isn't that under chats, I think? Is that under chats or is that under settings? General settings. Let me take a look here. I think it might be under general images. No, not. Where is it? Do you know where it is, Mr. Dahl?
It might be under chat.
I think. Oh, people widget. No. Let me look under chat really quick. Nope, that's just chat on. I think it's under general. There more in here where it says like show the person or not. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on. So also in the general, there's also this preview pane, and you can also mark the conversation as read immediately 1 second after, 3 seconds after. So then it even says that, oh, you read this email because it was in the preview. So if you go over to labs, it is called preview pane, and it's right here. It's by Peter and Michael. Thanks, Peter and Michael. You guys rock. And then the other one that I really like is, which I have done this a few times in my personal and in school because Mr. Dahl always yells at me that I'm a fast typer, but it's called the undo send. And what it is if you hit send and then you're looking at your message, you're like, oh my gosh, I totally misspelled Mr. Dahl's name or something like that, or I misplaced a period, or whoops. What you can do is there's a little button that shows up on the top that says, ooh, did you really meant to send this yet? Or you can undo it. So I'm going to see if it works. One thing with labs, you guys, is that they're in experimental form. So just kind of know that. Hey, this is awesome. All right, obviously not a good email to a teacher here. So I'm going to go back to my inbox just to make sure that if I need to be there, and I hit send, and then it says, your message has been sent. Undo! Oh no, I sent the wrong thing, and then I can click it. Undo, it's been undone, and there it is again. So it's kind of a cool little feature that you can use. And labs are experimental. They sometimes work, sometimes don't work, so just know that it's something to try. Something to see how it goes. So that's about all I think we have time for. We've got a long one here. So, Mr. Dahl, any other things that you can think of?
We rattled and went through a lot of things, and what's really cool is Ms. Hasselbauer and I have used and shared ideas with Gmail a lot, and I just learned 2 more things that I'm going to use in Gmail, and it's always fun to bounce things off a buddy or someone that is using and has the same interest, because you never know what you might learn.
Very true. All right, well, Southie Middle School students, you've just been
stung.